Castroneves has won the Indy 500 4 times, but what happened this year was 1 in a million. Helio Castroneves is a huge star in the IndyCar series. He's been racing for over 20 years and had great success early on, winning the Indy 500 3 times in 2001, 2002, and 2009. So what were the odds a 45-year-old could end a 12-year drought driving for a very small race team and win the biggest race of them all? Here's my story from Long Beach. That moment when you won the Indy 500, it was so exciting. And all I could think of was, I have to ask him, what was going through your mind on that last lap?
Wow. Last lap, I was making sure, because I had a lot of traffic in front of me, making sure I hit the right movement, put the car in the right position so that I can get out of the corner, the last corner ahead of everybody. And in fact, when I looked my mirrors, I was like, wow, that was better than I expected. So it was really cool. I remember kind of like closing my eyes. I'm like, can you? And I think I was I think I said it in the helmet. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? We made it. So it was a really cool moment inside the helmet. I just want to make sure that people, what a special moment for everyone. Forget about me for a second. Thinking about the history, right? Number 4, so many people not even saw it, my first win.
2001.
I mean, people weren't born there, right? That's my point.
Well, some people weren't born.
Some people weren't there, not us in this case. But imagine, so all of a sudden to see someone doing it 4 times. So that for me is really cool. And some of the young kids now that are here in IndyCar, being part of that. So in the end of the day, it was a very, very historic moment. And I'm just so glad to be part of it.
Okay, so it was 12 years, the last time you had won the Indy 500. You know, it's so amazing to think, okay, here is a man who is in his 40s now, and you were with a big team all of your career.
Yeah.
You joined Meyer Shank for this race. How did that come about?
And that's even better for
Yes.
the story, right? I just told you to separate. Now, when you put it back, Mike Shank, first of all, it's an incredible guy, a passionate person like me, loves racing. Started racing from absolutely nothing. People don't realize that. Never won a race.
Right.
Never won an IndyCar race, by the way. He used to run sports car, which is a champion. But IndyCar is a different beast. First time winning, having a partner, Jim Meyer, which is an amazing, another passion guy, that 4 years ago, Jim Meyer was sitting on the grandstand watching the race, and he is becoming a team owner. So when you look to this type of whole history together, it is an incredible Cinderella story. And I'm just, again, it just to show people they believe in me, even that outside of Team Penske, which is the best organization over here, and all of a sudden we're over. Everyone believe in each other, and that's why we're able to win.
Did they approach you? How did that come to be?
So the whole scenario was that I was racing sports car. If you guys don't remember, in 2017 was my last full season in IndyCar. And then I was racing a sports car with Acura, which was really cool. We won a championship 2020, but the program came to an end. And I said, I'm not over. I can't retire. I still got the passion, the fire inside me. I can't just all of a sudden, just because a big team said change the plans.
Right.
I felt that was the right time for me to, like a teenager, Penske raised me,
Yes.
Educating me, teach me, mold me. Now it's time for you to fly alone, and that's the way I felt, and that's why. And then Mike believe in me, the whole organization, and we got together, and look what we did.
When was the first time you met Helio, and what was that like?
So interesting. He drove for my sports car team in 2007. So I spent the Rolex 24 the whole month of January with him. We got on well then, and then even after that, we stayed friends through the whole Dancing with the Stars thing, and we always supported him. But we always kept touch. I kept watching him, and then, but more than anything, we looked at his numbers from his last full year in IndyCar, which was 17, I believe. And his numbers showed pretty good still. And so we just felt like there was a little bit more life left in him. There's two things we had to consider. This time last year, actually. Do we want to bring a young guy in and start new and build him for the future? or do we want to bring a veteran in that can help Jack Harvey, the teammate at the time, and the whole program, specifically at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway? And so we looked at this hard, and we decided for our sponsors, our group of people, that we wanted to take our, you say risk, quote unquote, with an older guy and use his experience up. And we look like rock stars now.
As far as the engineering and really kind of the technical parts of this, how did you know that you would have the right engineer to work with Helio?
Well, we didn't. We just knew we had good people here, and then it's just an adaptation thing. So Helio's been with the Penske for 20 years or something, right? So they do things a lot different than we do. We're not quite as buttoned up as they are, but in a good way, in my opinion. And so I would say also Helio got to maybe do a little bit more of what he wanted in our environment. But what I know for sure is that we brought him for a very specific reason, and it was his experience and I'll be honest with you, a little chip on his shoulder. He wanted to do well after being kind of not let go, but moved on, maybe is a good word.
The story, you could not make it up. You could not make the story up. There are so many young kids in IndyCar now. I mean, so good, the Colton Hertas, all of them.
Yeah.
But for you and that track, it is like lightning in a bottle. What is it? What is it?
That's a great question. I guess that place, it's so magical.
It is.
And it picks who's the winner, right? And because of the history, because of the place, and I'm so honored to become a part of such an elite group. And I always dream about it. And that's probably the message to everyone. You can't stop believing it. You gotta work. And again, some people might say, it's over. And I can see in a lot of people sometimes interviews and things like that, you're running out of time, right? Well, if I still got it, if I still have the passion and dedication, why am I running out of time?
Did you feel that way the last few years? Were people sort of saying that too?
I felt the vibe from them, which is okay. I understand people have doubts. As long as me, I never had doubts. I knew I could do it. I just had to have the right equipment, the right people. And I'm not saying Penske didn't give me the right equipment, but when you're sharing with the 4 other guys or 3 other guys, that they're on a hunt in the championship and things like that, things start changing. Mike had the best thing that he got for me and for both cars. And I took the best out of it.
Did you feel that car was as good as it was that day? What was that car like that day?
Every lap was getting better. And I'm like, this is unbelievable. I guess it was the way my engineer and I and the whole team really focused. We found the sweet spot, and once you get that, you're gonna be, unless uncircumstances happen, which could, it would be very difficult for us to lose that race.
Lastly, what was it like for you those last few laps at Indianapolis this year?
That was really weird. And I was on Jack Harvey's stand because I talked to Jack during the race, and I'm looking at my partner, Jim Meyer, and I'm looking at him, and he's looking at me with 10 laps to go. And I just literally, I told the engineer on Jack's car, you guys got to talk to Jack. I can't. For me, I grew up as a kid in Columbus, Ohio, and it was all about the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, just like it is for Helio. And I think our world changed forever from that point forward, and the opportunity to get 5 for him is just, so we have a big plan on how we're going to do that. We're saving a lot of the cars upstairs in this trailer. We're saving it, and we'll see where life takes us, and history will kind of determine if we were right or not.
My story here at IndyCar wasn't over yet, and I'm glad I'm back, and I still have to write some story.
And Helio has a full ride with Meyershank Racing in 2022. He will try for an unprecedented 5th win at the Indy 500, something nobody else has ever been able to do. And if anyone can do it, it's Helio. All right, that will do it for today's show. Remember, you can watch Playing the Field anytime you want, 24/7 at playingthefieldtv.com. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Maria Serrao, and we'll see you next time.